When navigating the wizarding world through the perspective of a muggle, there are a lot of things that might raise a few eyebrows, some in a morally dubious sense, and others simply because of how unbelievably astonishing they are. But in my view, there is perhaps nothing more fascinating or perplexing than the existence of time turners. Think about it, a device so powerful that it can manipulate time itself, allowing a person to rewrite moments, change outcomes, and even alter the course of history. Today, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the history of time turners, how they work, their limitations, their eventual destruction, and of course, how Hermione Granger was granted access to one. One of the most famous uses of a time turner occurred in 1994, when Hermione Granger and Harry Potter used one to save Sirius Black and Buckbeak the Hippogriff after Dumbledore subtly suggested to Hermione,
3 turns should do it, I think.
She and Harry traveled back in time by 3 hours. Using their knowledge of future events, they successfully freed Buckbeak and helped Sirius escape, ensuring that history remained unchanged while also preventing 2 innocent lives from being lost. Their adventure revealed the power and limitations of time turners. They do not allow major history-altering events, but rather reinforce the idea of a predetermined timeline. Time turners, however, were ultimately destroyed. In Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, during the Battle of the Department of Mysteries, the shelves containing all of the Ministry's time turners were shattered, sending them into an endless time loop. This effectively meant that, for all intents and purposes, legal time travel was no longer possible. The loss of these devices was considered a major blow to magical research, but many believed it was for the best, as the consequences of time manipulation could be catastrophic. Despite this, new versions of time turners emerged in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. 2 experimental models were introduced: a prototype that allowed travel years into the past, but automatically pulled the user back after 5 minutes, and a perfected version that enabled unrestricted time travel, which fell into the hands of Delphi Riddle, posed a significant threat, as it could be used to completely rewrite history. The first of these new time turners was created by Theodore Knott, whom we spoke about in a detailed video. Knott secretly constructed a prototype time turner that allowed users to travel further back in time, but had an automatic recall mechanism. This device was confiscated by the Ministry of Magic and later used by Albus Potter and Scorpius Malfoy during their misadventures. However, the most dangerous time turner was commissioned by Draco Malfoy's father, Lucius Malfoy, who sought a true unrestricted version of the device. His family's deep connections and vast resources enabled him to fund the creation of a time turner that had no limits, allowing a user to travel back as far as they wanted without an automatic return. This device was later stolen by Delphi Riddle, who attempted to rewrite history by ensuring that Voldemort would win the Battle of Hogwarts. This unrestricted time turner posed an unprecedented danger, as it bypassed the Ministry's previous limitations on time travel. Now let's talk about how Hermione got her time turner. In her 3rd year at Hogwarts, Hermione had an impossibly packed schedule, taking multiple subjects that were scheduled at the same time. Rather than drop any courses, she sought permission from Professor McGonagall, who, after consulting with the Ministry of Magic, arranged for Hermione to be given a time turner. This was an exceptionally rare privilege, as students were almost never granted access to such powerful magical artifacts. The Ministry allowed it under strict conditions. Hermione had to keep its existence a secret, use it only for academic purposes, and return it at the end of the school year. The responsibility of carrying a time turner weighed heavily on Hermione. She often appeared exhausted due to the sheer number of classes she was attending, and the secret nature of the device meant that she couldn't explain her fatigue to anyone, not even Ron and Harry. The stress of managing so many subjects, combined with the burden of keeping the time turner hidden, eventually took a toll on her. This was especially evident when she snapped at Ron and even dropped divination after an outburst in class. Once the school year ended, Hermione returned the time turner to the Ministry, never using one again. Time turners remain one of the most intriguing and controversial magical objects in Harry Potter. While they offer the incredible ability to manipulate time, they also pose enormous risks, making their widespread use incredibly dangerous. That's it for today. Thank you for watching, and see you next time, if God wills.